Trick or treat! Trick or treat!
Trick or treat!
I want candy. How about Bud Light?
Bud Light!
I love Genesis vehicles. I don't think I've ever had a bad one, and they say they're going to send me the G70 electric version. Hope it's more impressive than the gas versions I've driven, so I said send it to me. Let's go. So here's the window sticker. Base price $65 grand plus change, but going down. Oh, they're going to charge us for paint color. Seems to be a trend now. And this fancy $6,800 package. All the stuff we don't need, but really want. And there you go, what a bargain. And where is it made? Ooh, Montgomery, Alabama. Buy American. And a factory claimed of 236 miles. Seems kind of short for such a big car. Well, we'll see. I had trouble finding the charging port, by the way, but I see on this photo it's up in front. Nice to know. We won't be backing this into the charger at the public charging station, that's for sure. For those of you who like to drive in front. Here we're at our garage and test facility. Let's open the door and roll this baby out. So here it is, a pretty nice looking vehicle in my opinion. Unlike the gasoline version where you have a real grill, you have a solid piece of plastic here. Giveaway to let you know it's the electric version. And the rear view. One of the first things we do when we get a vehicle is to check and see what brand of tires they're giving us, because a lot of manufacturers are going on the cheap end, give us garbage brands. But these are Michelin's, top of the line, 20 inches, 265/45R. Anytime we get a vehicle, we take the headlights out in the dark, see how they perform, and do some night driving. We already did a video on that. If you didn't see that, we'll have a link for that at the end of this video so you don't miss anything. And we always check to see if there's a spare tire. It's an electric vehicle, of course not. There's never any room with all the batteries. A nice cargo net and some owner's manuals we couldn't find earlier. And under the hood, the electric motor is down there somewhere. And raised lid, you have your charging cables. A tire repair kit. By the way, if you like picking up pizza, you can stick it here on the way home. Keep it nice and warm. You would think with all the room in this vehicle, there'd be room for a battery that goes longer than 236 miles of driving, but that is the maximum you're going to get according to the factory. And don't send me emails asking me if I really got that range, because if you're driving in hot weather like now with the air conditioning running, you're going to lose 30% right off the bat. If you're driving in the winter time, you can lose up to half your range. If you live in cold climates, electric cars are not for you. That's another video I'll be covering later on. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The only real advantage the electric car has is cheap horsepower. It's a lot easier to put a strong battery under the hood than it is to put a gas guzzling engine. And this is definitely in the ballpark. 483 horsepower max ability, 516 pounds-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, a quarter mile in 12.2. If you're driving a V8 muscle car like a Mustang GT or a Challenger SRT or Camaro SS, where the horsepower runs around 475, I'll still beat you in this. By the way, this is also all-wheel drive. I don't really complain about the short driving range of certain SUVs that are electric anyway, because, let's face it, if you're worried about range, you shouldn't be driving an electric car anyway. They're for local traffic only. You want to take an interstate trip, go ahead, you use public chargers, but you have a long wait each time you go to charge up. Not for long distance cruising. These are city cars, all of them. Genesis has some of the most plushest cabins in the industry, and they do not disappoint here. Super nice. The glove box has plenty of room in there. Gear selection is done by this knob. I can live with that. Sherit's a stick. Doesn't take up any room here. Easy to reach. Automatic goes into park. We turn the vehicle off. Yeah, definitely better than a stick. And move here, you have the volume and tuning switches for the radio. Very convenient, easy to use. Very simple to use climate controls. Separate from the info system. Thank you very much. A large 12-inch info screen, but this is part of the optional luxury package. You don't get extra money, you don't get the extra size. Sorry, guys. A beautiful gauge cluster, very well designed. In your infotainment knob, I noticed in some reviews some people are whining because the control knob is too complicated for them to use. I don't know why, it's not too complicated for me. I get confused pretty easily. But it's nice to know that if you don't want to use the knob, you can use your finger touching the screen. So everything there is for you. Either way, you're good to go. Pardon the glare, but it's that time of day. All kinds of stuff to choose from. Not that hard once you learn the system. And pretty simple compared to some of the German cars I've driven lately. It takes an engineering degree to figure out. And your driving information, percentage of battery life left, number of miles left, etc. And I'm picking up a lot of glare here, but it's on my camera lens transmitting this. In person, I really don't see any glare, so don't worry about that. Alright, show and tell is over. Let's do some driving. And the power steering is very nice. Good feel and feedback. You wouldn't know it's electric instead of hydraulic. No complaints here. On the street, this is one of the smoothest vehicles I've driven in a long time. Let's take some mild speed humps around 15 to 20 miles per hour. See what happens, as we do in all of our videos. Here comes bump number 1. Pretty smooth, didn't feel a thing. Bump number 2. Smooth as a baby's bottom. And the big nasty one. Hang on for your life. Some mild thumping, nothing serious. This vehicle does have one flaw in how it ever got in production. No one noticed, and people who test cars for a living didn't see anything. Is beyond me, but you need to know about it, although it's easily fixed. That involves the head-up display. As you can see here, it gives the information reflecting off the windshield. Now you can see it at the moment for this time of the day, but other times of the day you can't. So we did a little short video on that, and we'll roll that right now. This vehicle has a head-up display showing information reflecting in the windshield. You can see it very clearly right now. However, it seems that some fool at the factory decided to paint the inside of the housing with bright metallic paint. So every day between 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, I get this big ghost reflection in the windshield. That will not go away when I'm driving in a northern position. And if you turn the HUD off, it's still going to be there. Even worse if you're turning at different angles. How come nobody noticed this before it's went in production? How come people who test vehicles don't say anything about this? There's a solution. Some black tape or black cardboard solves the problem. Going, gone. Problem solved. This car is playing quick. I don't know if the 0 to 60 time of 3.7 seconds claimed is totally 100% accurate, but trust me, there's no lack of power with this vehicle. You want to pass, it goes. And some people complain about the brakes being a bit too grabby. I think they're just whiny. Yeah, a little on the sensitive side, but they stop when you want, the way you want, so why complain? I don't want mushy brakes, do you? This is definitely one of the most comfortable highway cruisers I've ever driven. If I was going from New York to Los Angeles, this would be perfect, except after about 200 miles, the battery would be dead, and I'd have a 3-ton paperweight. But for local expressways, can't beat it. By the way, I love these turn signals. They got a camera in the outside mirrors, so you can look at your dash and see what's beside you instead of having to look at the mirror. A common feature of many Genesis models, should be on all models, I think. By the way, I almost forgot, there is a drive mode button. Is it Eco, Comfort, Sport, or a custom system? I would want Eco with all this nice horsepower. And here's the camera system. This is what you're paying for. So what's my take on this Genesis EV after a week of driving? If you watch my videos, it's no secret I'm really not a fan of electric vehicles in general. For the most part, they're just a non-existent solution for a non-existent problem. That being said, I've not driven a Genesis electric vehicle I did not like. They really know how to do it right. The power is there, the comfort, the styling, quality, and compared to some of the European vehicles with extremely higher price tags, this definitely blows them in the dust. If you don't do any long distance driving locally only, electric car might be right for you. If you got about 70 grand to spend, this one might definitely be right for you. A very nice vehicle. Check it out before you buy something else. And now coming up, a headlight test and night drive.